This is the worst patch in Snowbreak history, maybe even Gacha history itself. It wasn't even months ago where Snowbreak was being praised for its peak content. How do we go from the highest point of Snowbreak and topple so low in such a short span of time? Let's talk about it. By the way, I also stream on Twitch, would love to have you. Censorship has always been a challenge when it comes to Snowbreak. It seems like the developers don't exactly have the best reputation among the gaming industry, especially because it's considered a master love game that found its success for the male gaze. If you look at the newest outfits for both Frisia and Cyrus, you can tell immediately that these skins are censored. The Katya interactive screen has also been heavily censored with the Chinese fog of war. Now, you can always uncensor these skins with a simple file adjustment, but I think there's more to peel here. Seasun obviously isn't to blame here. No developer wants to censor their own game, but that doesn't make me any less disappointed in the product. Seasun promised no further censorship would happen. In their minds, they probably thought everything was over and done with after they made the game 18+. But it looks like they have a fair share of people trying to sabotage them by mass reporting their content to the government. Some people have even been rumored to get hired on at Seasun to basically infiltrate and harm the studio from the inside. But honestly speaking, I don't buy into any of these tinfoil hat theories anymore. Maybe it was true for the first wave of censorship, but there's a point where you need to take responsibility. If you didn't know, Seasun hired a bunch of new employees with Snowbreak's success. The goal was to get more manpower to provide more quality content. However, the opposite has happened, and these new employees supposedly just keep messing up the game and its core vision. But I don't think the blame rests on these new people. As a company, you hired these new people on, and it's your responsibility to supervise and review their work. Due to the second crash of censorship drama with the summer outfits, manpower was slim. The higher-ups did not provide the direct supervision that was required of these new employees. This is why you can't access the new event story. The story was not reviewed properly, and they greenlit it anyway. Apparently, the new story is so bad and offensive to master love culture in CN that they had to rip the story entirely. In the story, Yao worries about Frisia more than the main character, and even gives her a lap pillow. Yao rejects a kiss from the main character. The main character feels like a burden as opposed to being strategic. There is no romance on demand, and the master love culture believes romance should be available 24/7. The main character is absent from cutscenes, and they only evolve Yao and Frisia. This implies Yuri association, apparently. I really am not joking, it's that ridiculous. The final nail in the coffin was that there was a new character named Qinying. Her attitude apparently was not suitable for master love culture. She even steps on a male character barefooted. And you know how CN harem members hate male interactions. This new character was going to become a new operative, but this entire idea got discarded due to CN feedback. And apparently, the writer for this entire patch also got fired for the backlash of the story. It's because CN felt like the story just wasn't about them. I personally don't think the writer should have gotten fired if they weren't provided clear instructions regardless if the higher-ups were putting out flames due to censorship. Another thing to cover is that without the story in the game right now, we only have one new piece of content, and that's basically a diet paradoxal labyrinth mode that combines combat with the Tetris mode that we're used to in the dorm already. These Tetris pieces give you very small buffs that don't really help you clear that much faster, and every round takes about 30 minutes to complete, and you have to do this 20 times before you can get the full amount of rewards. So now, I'm gonna rip off the band-aid when it comes to the new Frisia. She is probably the worst limited 5-star we've ever had. The devs were even aware of this before her release. They knew she was bad, and they are gathering feedback to improve her. And I'm sure people will probably say that, oh, they outdamage other players in co-op, in a co-op mode that has broken RNG buffs. That doesn't exactly highlight a character's performance. Especially in Neuron Simulation, you get a damage nerf for dodging. That means Frisia basically has a permanent debuff in her gameplay where team composition matters the most. But hey, no one's going to complain if more Frisia buffs happen, regardless if you think she's good or bad. I just want her to be more fun to play. It's one thing to lock a character's damage output behind a signature weapon, but locking a player out of the entire kit without the signature is not good design. Her signature comes with mandatory stamina reduction, and it doesn't even improve if you decide to tier 2 it. But look, it's not all bad news. Seasun had a live stream where they talked about the current situations with their player base. It seems like they truly are taking responsibility for everything that's happened recently, regardless of conspiracy theories. They apologized and said they would be sending a character selector box in the mail. They aim to fully voice stories by the 2.5 patch. The funny yellow plastic car in that free shit video will become a furniture item in the dorm, so that's cute. And in the future, they will make sure they get an okay from 3 people before publishing the story. Currently, the writers are working overtime to get the story right now rewritten as soon as possible. It really was just a rough situation overall, and they had no real HR to handle hiring. They will promise this is the last time they will ever have this kind of story mess up, because they know if this ever happens again, no one will forgive them due to their lack of oversight. So look, this time, unfortunately, Seasun just needs to take an L. Not every patch can be a breadwinner, but we know Seasun is capable of producing really good content, especially the Shirno patch, which I don't really understand why that entire chapter was a FOMO chapter. It should be in the game. That was really good. Seasun can do great things, but unfortunately, trust is wavering. That's ultimately up to you if you want to continue trusting them or to give them a benefit of the doubt. If you have the patience for it, then stick around. If you're at your breaking point, then you have to do what you gotta do and move on to another game, and I understand that completely. No one will blame you for that. But hey, we'll see where it goes from here. I stream over at Twitch, would love to have you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.